Everyday Superpower, where we talk body language, relationships, game, everything in between. Today I'm going to talk about don't try and change her, my brother. Don't try to change her. I say that in a positive, uplifting manner. This is a pro-man and a pro-feminine discussion. 2 links down in the description. One of them will take you through to the catalogue of body language, my nonverbal communication playlist on YouTube, how to read the minds of others purely through observing their nonverbal behaviours. Second to that is the Patreon, where you'll join me watching real life first date footage. I'll break down attraction cues, repulsion cues. You'll see it in the world. Bada bing, bada bum. You won't learn it elsewhere. I assure you that. Now, don't try and change the woman you're with. You can't. She will have to change herself for her own reasons, her own objectives, and through her own eyes and perspective. You can't dictate and order somebody to do what you want them to do. Hey, you could raise your hand up and be a mean guy. Nobody wants to invite that energy into their own life. Nobody respects that person. Don't do that. Just understand that if that woman you are with now is behaving in a particular sort of manner, if that was the woman you got into a relationship with initially, acknowledge that's the woman you're with now. What's so surprising? Don't get in a relationship with someone acknowledging their faults and how it contrasts with your perspective or needs with what you want in a person, and then just hate on them for the years to come. There's many men like this. You might think this is quite particular. No, it's not quite particular. This is consistent. Oh, I wish you'd cook more regular. Oh, I wish you'd stop giving me an earful. Oh, I wish you'd stop, putting your child before me. Oh, I wish you'd lose some weight. Oh, I wish you'd put on some weight. Oh, I wish you'd get a job. Oh, I wish you'd be able to provide a little better. And this goes both ways. Are you hearing this? Provision and so forth. Does that ring a chord? I wish you'd put more to the rent. I wish you'd get a job and so forth. This is actually in the realms of men more than women for that particular aspect. And I say it to say the same thing. That woman isn't gonna, because she'll be guided by other, energies. And as I'm saying, you can't change no one. I'm not going to speak on behalf of what a woman should change in order to pick a better mate. That's their imperative. It's not mine as a man. But I can speak to the men and say, bro, I've been there. I've been younger and got into a relationship with people who have showcased particular qualities and characteristics and felt insecure about them, and try to stop them from being the person they quite literally are. The characteristics they are showcasing are a pattern that has been enforced and reinforced throughout their entire life through the roots of childhood and up and beyond. If not their own biological imperative as women. And I'm here feeling that my word and what I can dictate through my word is sufficient enough to just shut this behavior off. It's incredibly egocentric, godlike of me to feel like I'm able to do so. And it's just not practical. It doesn't work. You're more better to try to, engage in positive development as to where you feel they are lacking, through different means, through fun experiences, through uplifting activity and so on and so forth. But instead we tend to criticize and point out our distaste and dislike for that particular element and facet of that person's character. Who you get into a relationship with is who you are going to be with if you want to continue on that relationship. She slept with you on the first date. Don't take it to heart later on down the line and say, in an argument, say you're a slag. You slept with me on the first date, because it still holds weight in your mind, the fact that she did so. Just accept that she did so. Yeah? What's the alternative? You piss your life away waiting for her to sleep with you over the weeks. She can find someone else in that time. Just accept it and move on. If you can do, but if you can't, it's time for you to find somebody who suits you a little better, such as she can find someone who suits her a little better. Yeah? I'm not pointing the finger and picking on no one. I'm talking about real talk here because I've been that guy. In my teenage years, man, I used to get irate over nothingness outside of my awareness as to why I was getting so annoyed at my missus for acting in particular ways. But as a grown man, I can identify them during the dating stages. Let's say, for example, we're not even dating and I look at her social media profile and she's like scantily clad, advertising herself. She's feeling good, looking good. And she garners the attention of people publicly through her, aesthetic prowess, which a lot of beautiful women will be doing, by the way, because they know the superpower in there. How can I come into her life and say, right, stop doing that? Oh, you're going out to socialize. What are you wearing that dress for? When she's worn that dress for years on end, how's she going to look at me? She's going to go to her friends and say, he's a knobhead. He's saying this, that, and the third. Then her friends are going to say, oh, what? You've always been like this. Your last boyfriend didn't act that way. And blah, blah, blah. You can say what you want, right? But I'm just saying you're going to invite a hell of a lot of negativity and strain and friction into your life. Bringing this woman into your life as to which you disagree with to such a high degree, right? You will get to an age, hopefully, where you're not committed to a degree where you have such self-understanding, self-worth, and literal value that, well, not literal financial value, but value in the sense of you're a valuable individual person and you've got a great education and sense of self, that you don't really care how this woman acts because whether she comes or goes is irrelevant to you. Not in like an easy brush off way, but just in a way that, hey, that's the way life is. I'm okay with that. I appreciate myself and this finite existence I have, and if it's not meant to work, it's not meant to work, right? That's real talk. Let's move on. Let's continue enjoying life and moving and progressing and being productive in the realms I want to be and self-fulfilling my own purpose, right? She goes out scantily clad, tits out, arse out, whatever you want, on a night out, getting drunk around a bunch of fellas or so forth. Bro, you can sit around moping and whinging about it all night. If that's the case, that's not the relationship for you, because that's the spirit of hoeing inside of her. Let's be real. Let her go and do that. It's not for you. Or you can just accept it and say, right, she's doing that. The moment something goes wrong or I pick up on something, I can just pull the trigger and get out of this situation. That's completely fine. No harm felt. It's up to you. It's quite simply. I don't know who said it first, but there's a couple of numbers, couple of rap songs. Don't save her, she don't want to be saved. And then there's the term Captain Save-A-Ho. You can't save them. If that's the way they want to be and the way they want to live and so forth, just allow them be. Accept them for who they are. You can't come into a woman's life and change who she is. You can't come into a fat girl's life and say lose some weight. You can't come into a hoe's life and say stop shagging, don't cheat on me, stop giving boys attention. You can't come into a woman's life who is like overtly social and say, bro, you need to stop socializing so much, can't you just focus on us? You can't come into a woman's life who doesn't want to have kids and say, let's have kids. You can't come into an unemployed woman's life and expect her to get a job and tell her to get a job. You can't come into a woman's life who is bad with money and is in debt to finally sort her finances out. People work in patterns. And what you identify once, you will identify again and again and again. And if you don't identify it once or twice or three times, what you will find is that their synonymous values will expand across their choices of life. Let's say I indulge in women to a detrimental degree. Who's to say I can't take that and replicate that facet of my character into drugs and alcohol and gambling and all these different facets? If I am an addict, I am an addict. So look at the foundational root to these behaviors. This is the reality of who we are and where we're going to go. That's some game. So click like and subscribe, people. Like I said, 2 links down in the description. Check them both out. And I'll see you next time. Peace.